team number 2 from last year, which is Rajasthan. That's right. They got to the final, but of course couldn't get across the line. Can they do it this year? Let's have a look at their squad. Sanju Samson, of course, still their captain. They've still got the spin twins in there, but they've picked up a few players as well. Added to the spin twins, they've got Zampa as well. If you look at the fact that the number of spinners they have and the quality of spinners they have, fair to say it's going to be a turning track at Jaipur?
There's that impact player down there, right at the bottom, guy called Donovan Ferreira. He just comes in and he'll get 20 from 9. If he scores 30, he'll get it in 14. He might be that player. If he could have bowled a little bit more, they wouldn't have needed Jason Holder. But the reason they've brought Jason Holder into that side is their side was very clear. 6 batters, 5 bowlers.
No,
never the
5 batters, 5 bowlers and Rayan Parag.
So,
The glue.
The glue.
That holds it together.
You know, this year, I worked a little bit with Sangakkar. I said that on the previews. And I said, just have a word with Rayan Parag. He should be a player first. And he said the message to him is very clear. Go back to first-class cricket, bowl a lot and bat up. So after that, I started following every game that Assam did. I checked the scorecards. He's batting at 4. He scored a decent number of runs, but he was bowling 25, 30 overs per game.
Wow.
And they've said, we want you as that all-rounder. After 4 years, you can't be averaging 13.
Yeah.
So they want those overs out of him. And so they will back him at 6 only if he gives them those overs.
I feel like the impact player rule will benefit them a lot.
Absolutely, because last year they were very clear, you do your job, and this year they need that because they don't have Prasidh Krishna. So last year they had that second fast bowler. Prasidh Krishna is out for the season, which means Kuldeep Sen will have to carry much more on him. And if you look at the other players, the interesting one for me, one is Jason Holder, which means obviously moving away from that formula, having some sort of a bit more flexibility. What do all-rounders give you? They give you a bit more flexibility. What's happening? The other interesting one is Joe Root. Because Joe Root is a very interesting player. Again,
He's there Williamson.
He's there, exactly. Chennai.
Yeah.
130, 140, 150 track. He'll go in and
Who does he play for?
Yeah.
Who does he play for? If they play 4 overseas players, I've got Butler, I've got Hetmeyer, I've got Holder, and I've got Bolt.
Yeah.
So if he can play in place of Holder,
Only Holder.
play in place of Holder.
But plays in place of Holder, and
But then you don't have bowlers.
because he bowls as well, right?
And then use a sub to take Jaiswal out, or Padikkal out, and get an Indian sub in, and get that person as the 5th bowler.
But
then they can
the advantage of Joe Root is that if you're batting him on slower tracks, he bowls and uses those conditions well as well.
Hungry. He's waited years to get into the IPL and do well.
Yeah, and if he gets a chance. But let's talk about the captain. Let's talk about Sanju Samson, because Sanju Samson, again, we talk about him so much. Great batter to look at. And every time you feel like, he's been given, he's not actually had a long run in India colours, right? And earlier, when was that when he got injured, where you thought that, he's in the squad now and he should get a chance, and then he got injured and he was out again. So is this one of those, he's looking at this and saying, all right, this really is a good opportunity because a good IPL here. We've got 2 World Cups coming up in the next 16 months. There's a 50 over and a 20 over.
He should be in every Indian T20 team for a start.
Yeah.
I've long maintained that the batting side that didn't go to the T20 World Cup was better than the batting side that went to the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
But Sanju Samson is aware that there is one spot available in the 50 over World Cup team.
Yeah.
What Sanju Samson, in my view, needs is what Saurav Ganguly told Yuvraj Singh. He said, I'm giving you 10 games.
Yeah.
At the end of 10 games, I will check where you are. So out of those 10, if you won me 3 or 4, that's enough for me, but I'm giving you 10 games. He needs a captain who will tell him, I'm giving you 10 games. I will assess you at the end of 10, but I will not say, I'm playing Sanju Samson, but I'll bat him at 6.
Yeah.
Or I'm playing Sanju Samson, but I'll bat him somewhere else. No, I back you and I'll give you that much. I'll give you that much time.
Yeah. Where would you like to see him bat here then?
3.
With the Royals?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Maybe that number 4 slot. We're back to number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. Number 4 is still open.
Sir, on the Hindi show we call it Char Ka Achar.
It's still open for the 50 over World Cup.
Char Ka Atyachar. It's back. How can we be back here every 4 years? The same problem. It's like, how they make buildings and there's no number 13, 13th floor. They just make 12 now and just 1, 2, 3, 5. Which is going. Let's also talk about Chahal. Chahal, purple cap winner.
No, absolutely. And I think the other thing is that what happens if you go to a Chennai and they find a way to play Zampa, Ashwin and Chahal together? Because you could with the substitutes now, you could turn up, do that and say that I'll bring Chahal only as a bowler.
Yeah.
Play a bat, bring Chahal only as a bowler.
He'll be very upset to hear you say
yeah, I know.
Very upset because he fancies himself at number 9.
himself as a bat, but
9 or
anyway,
10,
yes.
But think of it, 3 of those, it's a mouth-watering prospect which has now opened up,
Yeah.
which would never have been possible without the impact player rule.
Interesting. Well, again with Chahal, he has these seasons and then he plays every game building up to a World Cup, which happens every year now. And then he doesn't play in the World Cup. But this year my theory is that they're playing Kuldeep over him in all the India games. So therefore, in the World Cup, they'll play Chahal.
You know, in the
Keep confusing us.
in all those big Hindi movies, there are always 2 brothers,
Yeah.
and the mother had to take a call and we say bhai, bhai, and the script would adjust so that the 2 bhais are always locked in conflict with each other. But there was a mother and there were 2 bhais. Chahal and Kuldeep are like those 2 bhais.
Yeah.
Who's the mother?
No. But I mean, I just brought that in because in the Hindi movies. But when they played together, they played fantastic. But because neither bats, you had to play Jadeja. Now suddenly you can only pick one of the 2.
Yeah.
And Kuldeep is bowling beautifully.
Yeah.
Every game Kuldeep says, वो ना यूजी भाई ने मेरे को मदद की जब मैं डाउन था इसलिए मैं ले रहा हूँ. And यूजी saying after a while, मुझे भी तो खेलना है. But it's a big game. It's a big year for him, and he's one of the great IPL players.
Yep. With this team though, I don't know. I feel for me it's fingers crossed to them for their chances because it's just too stark. I think the game has moved ahead from this 6 batters, 5 bowlers kind of setup. You need some all-rounders in the middle in this format because it's evolving so much. So that's why I've got them as.
I don't know how Hetmar will play because he's
Yeah,
ditched his
again,
pink hair.
that's what I'm saying.
He's ditched his pink hair too.
But my problem again was that you had superlative. I feel Sanju Samson can bat at that level consistently because he gave about 450 odd runs. I think he's
Jaiswal is
there.
also in good form. No?
Jaiswal's also in good
Yashasvi is in very good form.
But those 2, Joss Butler and Hetmar, the way they played last year, to play that year on year like that, because they had outstanding seasons.
850 runs, Butler.
I figure Sanju Samson has to play at 3, but they won't be able to play him at 3. And then of course there's going to be the 6 plus 5. So that's why I've got them. What have you got them as?
I've got them as this. As long as they give the right flight ticket to Hetmar and he's available, then it might go like this. But otherwise, it's like this.
All of us are.
I'm a little uncertain about Rajasthan Royals. I think they've got the side like so many, but yeah. Okay, chalo.
Okay.